Now news headlines with Ford Schenkel.
In the news this morning, Wheeling Pittsburgh Steel Corporation has unveiled a $187 million modernization program. The firm says it hopes the action will move it ahead and keep it competitive in the world market. The Pittsburgh-based company says the program should be completed within 18 months. Bell of Pennsylvania has announced that it will apply to the Public Utility Commission for a general rate increase, its biggest one ever. If approved, such a rate increase could mean at least a $5 increase in the average monthly residential phone bill. A striking union says it will seek the aid of a federal mediator to settle its dispute with the Westinghouse Air Brake Company in Allegheny County. Negotiations have resumed in the 12-day walkout by 3,800 employees. Governor Thornburg has backed away from plans to convert an idle Pittsburgh hospital into a state prison. Marcy Hospital was being considered until community pressure forced a change in plans. Thornburg says 3 or 4 other sites in Pittsburgh are being considered, but declined to identify them. Common Cause has filed suit in the state Supreme Court against the state legislative reapportionment plan that is supposed to take effect next year. The Citizens Lobby says the plan unnecessarily divides a large number of counties, municipalities, and precincts. A malfunction in one of those 3 fuel cells aboard the orbiting Space Shuttle Columbia has forced NASA officials to shorten its planned 5-day flight to a little more than 2 days. In Houston, a NASA spokesperson says that it's possible, however, that the mission might be allowed to go beyond that if nothing else goes wrong. A U.S. oil industry source says Libya is shattered by Exxon's announcement that it has decided to withdraw from its operations in the North African nation. Exxon, the biggest U.S. oil company, gave no reason for the pullout. Budget Director David Stockman says he offered his resignation to President Reagan over those embarrassing criticisms of the president's economic program in the December Atlantic Monthly. But the president refused the resignation and said he wants Stockman to stay on the team. Stockman says he is staying. One big way to cut down on imported oil is to increase the use of mass transit. But can mass transit really be made to work? Bill Owen reports.
Public transportation is not a way of life for most U.S. citizens because it does not offer the convenience or the safety of a private vehicle. But if we are serious about conserving energy and protecting our environment from further pollution, public transit is a solution we can no longer ignore. There is a city in North America where public transit is a way of life. Toronto, Canada sets an example for us.
We have a sensitivity, if you like, a responsiveness to riders. People in Toronto don't perceive the transit system as a common carrier system that only the poor or the minorities use. So we haven't had a social or cultural stigma associated with transit. And so people in the community take an interest in it.
One way Toronto has coordinated the urban areas of the city is through an innovative bus system known as Easy Rider. The Easy Rider system is based upon computer communications for bus transportation. The technology, created and designed by Canadians, involves microcomputers monitoring locations of buses and sharing that information with riders through a telephone system.
And the most important reason why people won't take the bus is because of that uncertainty, that fear of a lengthy wait, you know. And basically, the Easy Rider system has been designed and has proven itself to overcome that fear. We get a very sharp increase in ridership right away, but roughly a 10% increase in ridership the day the system opened, and that kept on.
Canada is advancing rapidly in the technology and implementation of transportation systems. Its successes offer the U.S. many alternatives for future planning.
So this has been a transit town for a long time. If you go and superimpose a subway over the city of Atlanta, or you try to put a light rail line into Buffalo, you're putting rapid transit into cities that were designed around the assumption of the automobile as being the primary way of moving people. And so I hope people are patient enough in the United States with rapid transit, because I think it's the only option open to them.
Rapid transit, a conservation method that could save the United States much-needed energy and save the consumer time and money. This is Bill Owen reporting.
Tomorrow, in our final segment, we will see how the Canadians have incorporated air travel into their commuter system. In sports, the Penguins will take their 4-game winning streak to Boston Saturday night to play the Boston Bruins. Now here's Dennis Ruffling with the weather forecast.
The official Pittsburgh Metropolitan forecast: clear, cold nights and sunny, pleasant days through Saturday. Lows in the mid to upper 20s this morning and Friday night. The highs near 50 Friday and in the mid-50s Saturday. Light winds and no chance of rain. This is Dennis Ruffing from the National Weather Service for Television 22 News.
The current temperature in Pittsburgh is 30 degrees. I'm Ford Schenkel for Television 22 News. Stay tuned for our second Starlight movie feature.